Stratford Tennis Club up near Milton Keynes, the Milton Keynes Riviera, with John Cavill of Tennis Works. John, good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Hope you're well.
I tell you what, coming up the M1, it was torrential rain up here in Milton Keynes, Stony Stratford. It's like a little paradise. It's lovely.
Beautiful, isn't it? We have a bubble on the courts and a bubble over Stony Stratford. It's wonderful.
Listen, I've known you a couple of years. I run the Tennis Coaches Support Network, and you joined us in the Tennis Coaches Support Network, and you've added loads of value in there. But tell us a little bit about Tennis Works. I didn't really know anything about Tennis Works. Tell us about Tennis Works.
Tennis Works has been going since 2000, and in 2010 we set up the company to do tennis resources, so seminars, webinars and so on. There's a website with lots of these resources obviously stored on there, and it's gone from strength to strength really, and looking forward to our next step in the summer term where we launch our new platform.
Yeah, so I've had a look at what you're doing, and you've got this sort of unique library of all this content from all sorts of different people, not just yourself, but you've got some unique propositions to help coaches and people get to the content. It's quite an exciting proposition.
Yeah, most definitely.
But there's more than that. So your experience of running webinars and seminars is what got us together in December when we planned for the first Tennis Coaches Network Forum that we ran in January with Dan Kiernan.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, I've known Dan since we set up Tennis Works, well, the website, back in 2010. So it's a brilliant opportunity, as he's very active in the forum as well, to get him to come and join us, especially because he was over in the UK at the same time.
Yeah, so I mean, he gave his time for free. You put him up at your house. The ethos of the Tennis Coaches Support Network, which is just helping other people, sharing ideas and not being precious about sort of intellectual property, was great. And Dan's sharing some really personal stories that help people learn lots. In fact, we had one coach who'd never watched his listened to his Control the Controllables podcast, was so inspired by Dan that he started listening to them. In the last month, he's listened to 44 of them.
Wow.
And now feels he's 3 times the coach he was before from the learnings that what he got out of that forum and Dan Kiernan. So we're taking it a step further. We got the next one coming up. So on March the 21st, we've got our second Tennis Coaches Network Forum. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why that one's so special? Yeah,
well, it's a guy you might have all heard of called Matt Little. He's strength and conditioning coach to Sir Andy Murray. Wonderful speaker, fantastic guy. Heard lots about him from other people, especially Dan said how wonderful he is. And loads of people have fed back on other things that they've done with him. So looking really forward to that, because I think strength and conditioning in tennis, a lot of coaches aren't really up to speed or know how to kind of implement it into their programs. And what we're hoping is that he will be able to impart some great expert knowledge with us all on how we can weave it into our programs and how we shouldn't fear having it as a part. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
So the format that was really successful with Dan was that he keynoted and shared some really personal stories, actually, that was quite inspiring as to how we do things. We hope to get the same from Matt, so some stories and learnings from his experience on the tour. And it's not just about Andy, it's really about Matt's journey and what he's learned and what's important. And I think his book around the speed of how you do things, and actually there's no shortcut to things, that we're going to learn a lot from those stories.
Yeah.
But there's the round tables as well. So the round tables is where we get a chance to explore topics around S&C, and I think we're going to bust some myths around what you can and can't do in terms of S&C for juniors, because I think some people are afraid what they can do or can't do strength and conditioning wise around juniors.
Yeah.
And also we've got this really exciting part where we go on court. Coaches will show us some of their S&C routines, and it's a clinic format where Matt will be able to say, yeah, listen, that one looks great. If you do it for a little bit longer, then it really works this part of the body. This one's good, you could use a bit more weight. This one we use with Andy, but we do it in this particular way. So coaches get some personalized feedback on their own routines, and other coaches who've opted to kind of watch and see what happens will get to understand S&C routines that they could weave into their own program. So that's really valuable. So we got a lot of value from the first one, hoping to get a lot of value from the second one. On the first one we had BlazePod there, so we got the chance to try out these BlazePod amazing bits of reflex training kits. This time we've got a different vendor. Who's joining us this time, John?
So we've got Rob Salmon, who's bringing down the Topspin Pro, and again a training device that I'm sure coaches, I have never used one myself, so actually I'm really excited to give it a go and see what the benefits it can bring to me and to the kids in the program.
Okay, so we get a chance to try Topspin Pro in the flesh. I think I've seen videos of them, I've heard people using them. I've used similar sorts of aids to help us teaching topspin on tennis, but Rob Salmon's got sort of enthusiasm coming out of his ears, so it'd be great to have him showing us how we should really use these. And I believe they've got a new prototype that they're going to share with us, which helps people on serving, so that's a unique opportunity for people to get a view of that. And we got some discounts going on the day, John?
Yeah, I believe so. Some discounts going for obviously for the Topspin Pro, and yeah, I think if it was anything like the BlazePods, people really took advantage of it, so it should be really good.
Okay, so we've got quite a bit going on. We had these round tables. We're also going to be talking about marketing your program and the best ways to get that promoted. Tennis Works, we've got this unique resource of content that I think you'll hopefully talk about at the forum as well, about how coaches can get access to that.
Yep.
The last event we did with Dan, it was what's the word? It was a catalyst for some people to delve into his podcasts and really learn. I took away quite a bit from that. Is there anything in particular you took away from that first forum?
Yeah, I mean, it was wonderful to just listen to some of the stories and everything, and especially the journey, but I think the big thing for me was a couple of the mental skills games that he did on court. I really enjoyed. There were two. One I've heard of and used before, the dice game, but the other one with the pressure points at 3 and 5 in a tie break were wonderful. So yeah, when players get to 0.3 or 0.5 of a tie break, if they lose it, they drop down to. So it really creates a bit more stimulation in terms of, you know, how to deal with the stress of the big moments in matches and things like that. So we've been using that ever since in our program quite a lot. So yeah, that was a wonderful takeaway for me.
I think the thing that I took away from it was the fact that people are so giving and so sharing, and we shouldn't hang on to information ourselves. We shouldn't be afraid to share things that have made us great, and I think we're stronger together as a coaching workforce. And seeing people meet face to face and network and support each other, I really think we've lost that in the last couple of years. We've had webinars and we've had coach Zoom coffee mornings and stuff, but I don't think anything beats face-to-face support of each other. And it was a great event back in January. Looking forward to a great event in March. John, I know we'll be speaking before the event, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in March. Thanks so much for hosting me up here at Stony Stratford.
You're welcome anytime.